Peru, South America, the Andes Mountain.
Covered in vibrant images of mystical figures and animals.
In fact, the oldest mummies in the world are from northern Chile and southern Peru.
Deep in the heart of South America, Peru has long been a land of mystery. From the towering ruins of Machu Picchu to the vast desert plains etched with the enigmatic Nazca Lines, it is a country where history, legend, and wonder collide. But what modern explorers and archaeologists stumbled upon in Peru goes far beyond anything you might expect. What secret hidden within this rugged landscape did they discover? Join us as we uncover some of the most unbelievable discoveries in Peru. Number 15. Puquillos. In one of the driest regions on Earth, strange spiral-shaped holes can be seen stretching across the desert landscape. These structures, called puquillos, have puzzled researchers for years, and the mystery was only truly solved with the help of satellite images from space. The puquillos are found in Peru's Nazca region, a place already famous for the mysterious Nazca Lines, massive shapes and figures carved into the desert floor, as well as ancient ceremonial burials and the sudden collapse of a once thriving society. What makes the story of the Nazca people even more fascinating is how they managed to survive in a land where droughts could last for years. According to Rosa Lassaponara of Italy's Institute of Methodologies for Environmental Analysis, the puquillos were an advanced water system designed to pull water out of underground aquifers. In other words, they turned a dry and harsh desert into farmland and livable space. Using satellite images, Lassaponara and her team mapped out the puquillos and studied how they connected to ancient settlements. This helped them understand how the system worked and just how advanced it really was. What's clear, Lassaponara explains, is that the puquillo system was once far more developed than what we see today. By tapping into a constant underground water supply, it allowed people to grow crops year-round in one of the driest regions of the world. The system worked through a series of underground canals that carried water to where it was most needed. Any extra water was stored in reservoirs on the surface.
This is Nazca Valley. The water goes down to Nazca Valley.
To keep the water flowing, the Nazca people built funnel-shaped openings above the canals. These spiral chimneys acted like wind tunnels. The air forced water to move through the underground system. The puquillos were the most ambitious water project ever attempted in the Nazca region. They provided water not only for farming, but also for drinking and daily use, a lifeline in the desert. Lassaponara, who describes her findings in her upcoming book, Ancient Nazca World, New Insights from Science and Archaeology, says the project completely transformed the region. And just when you think this discovery is interesting, this next one proves even more intriguing. Let's take a look. Number 14. Huari Tomb. Archaeologists in Peru made an astonishing discovery when they uncovered a tomb that had remained untouched for many centuries. Inside, they found the preserved remains of two people belonging to the ancient Huari culture. One of the bodies belonged to an adult, while the other was a child. This raised an immediate and haunting question. Were they victims of human sacrifice? Many ancient civilizations in the Americas are known to have practiced rituals that involved offering human lives, and the evidence in this case seems to point in the same direction. Experts believe that the child was deliberately killed and buried beside the adult, not as an independent sacrifice to the gods, but as part of a ritual honoring the adult.
Adult mummies and the remains of a sacrificed infant, something common in Huari burials.
The tomb is believed to be more than 1,000 years old. The bodies were carefully wrapped in ceremonial textiles, suggesting that both individuals held an important place in their society. Alongside the remains, archaeologists discovered 10 other objects, including artifacts that hint at the adult's role in life. Based on these finds, researchers suggest that the adult may have been a master weaver, someone highly respected for their skills in creating the fine fabrics the Huari were famous for. What makes the discovery even more fascinating is the way it highlights the values of the Huari people. Instead of interpreting the child's death as a gift to the gods, Archaeologists think it was a personal offering made to the adult, possibly to accompany them into the afterlife or to honor their social status. Number 13. Peruvian vampires. Researchers made an astonishing discovery that opened a window into the dark and mysterious traditions of ancient Peru culture. Hidden within a secret chamber of a great temple, they uncovered evidence of sacrificial rituals that once played a central role in religious life. Among the most striking finds were the remains of 6 women who had been sacrificed as part of a ceremonial practice. These rituals were far from ordinary gatherings. They involved chilling acts meant to honor the gods or ensure prosperity for the community. Participants wore eerie costumes, performed beheadings, and even drank blood as part of the rites. Such practices may seem shocking today, but for the people of that time, they carried deep spiritual meaning and were tied to their beliefs about life, death, and divine power. The culture's religious centers were built on a grand scale, with enormous temples that often contained hidden chambers designed specifically for these sacrifices. It was within one such secret room that researchers uncovered not only human remains, but also a collection of artifacts. Among them were ceramic figurines, carefully crafted and likely used as offerings or symbolic objects during the ceremonies. Some of the skeletons found at the site revealed even more haunting details. One in particular was discovered with its hands raised to cover its eyes, as if trying to block out the terrifying scene unfolding in front of it.
Some have their hands and arms tied behind their backs, which is a typical form of human sacrifice.
This silent gesture speaks volumes about the fear and desperation felt by those who took part in or were forced into these rituals. The discovery has given archaeologists a deeper understanding of how ritual sacrifice was practiced in this culture. It shows how faith and fear were intertwined, shaping the way people lived, built their cities, and honored their gods. Now, as we move away from Peruvian vampires, an even scarier discovery awaits us. Let's explore. Number 12. Nazca Lines. Far out in the dry desert plains of southern Peru lies one of the most mysterious creations of the ancient world, the Nazca Lines. These gigantic geoglyphs, or ground drawings, stretch across the desert floor, covering many kilometers of land.
The lines cover more than 125 square miles and form over 1,000 geometric shapes.
Though they had always been there, hidden in plain sight, they were rediscovered in the 1920s when pilots flying overhead noticed strange patterns etched into the earth. From the ground, the lines look like simple paths or trenches, but from the sky, they reveal breathtaking images, giant shapes of animals, plants, and even strange geometric designs. Some of the most famous figures include a monkey with a spiraling tail, a hummingbird with outstretched wings, a spider, a condor, and even a massive whale. There are also perfectly drawn straight lines and trapezoids that stretch across the desert for several kilometers. The sheer size and precision of these drawings make them one of the world's most fascinating archaeological mysteries. The question that has puzzled experts for decades is, why were they made? Some researchers believe the lines were part of a massive astronomical calendar, designed to align with the stars, solstices, and other celestial events. Others suggest they had a religious or spiritual purpose, serving as offerings to the gods to bring rain in this extremely dry desert region. Another theory is that the shapes were walkable paths used during rituals, where groups of people would move along the lines as part of ceremonies. The Nazca people, who lived in the region from around 200 BCE to 600 CE, are credited with creating these giant figures. They dug shallow trenches into the desert surface, removing the dark rocks and exposing the lighter soil beneath, which has helped preserve the drawings for centuries. Because of the dry climate and lack of wind, the lines have survived remarkably well. Now, talking of the gigantic Nazca Lines, this next discovery will keep you glued to your seat. Let's move further. Number 11. Machu Picchu. In the year 1911, an explorer named Hiram Bingham made the world aware of a hidden treasure high in the Andes Mountains of Peru.
Deep in the jungles of Peru, Hiram Bingham is on a quest to find an infamous lost city.
This treasure was none other than Machu Picchu, a stunning city built by the Incas hundreds of years before the arrival of Europeans. Perched on steep mountain slopes, surrounded by clouds and deep valleys, Machu Picchu is a site that has amazed visitors and researchers alike for over 100 years. The city itself is made of carefully carved stone buildings.
The stones fit together perfectly without any mortar.
Connected by narrow pathways and terraces that cling to the mountainside. These terraces were used for farming, helping the Inca people grow crops in a challenging and steep environment. Every structure shows the Incas' incredible skill in engineering, especially how they designed the city to withstand earthquakes. Machu Picchu was not only a city, but also a spiritual and cultural center. Its temples, plazas, and ceremonial areas suggest that it was a place of religious importance. The Temple of the Sun, for example, is thought to have been used for worshipping the sun, which was central to Inca beliefs. For many years, the city remained hidden from the outside world, covered by thick forests and mist. Its discovery by Bingham captured the imagination of people worldwide and sparked interest in the history and achievements of the Inca civilization. Today, Machu Picchu is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and attracts millions of visitors every year who come to marvel at its beauty, explore its mysterious ruins, and imagine the life of the people who once lived there. Even after more than 100 years since its discovery, Machu Picchu continues to inspire wonder. Its combination of natural beauty, impressive architecture, and historical significance makes it one of the most remarkable archaeological sites on the planet, reminding us of the incredible ingenuity of the Inca civilization. And if the treasures of Machu Picchu aren't chilling enough, wait until you find out about the sacred city. Number 10. Caral. Caral, often called the Sacred City, is one of the oldest cities in the Americas. It was built a very long time ago, around 3,000 years before the Common Era, making it over 5,000 years old today. For a long time, historians and archaeologists believed that complex civilizations in the Americas appeared much later. But the discovery of Caral completely changed that idea. Caral was found in Peru in the late 20th century, surprising the world with evidence of an advanced society that existed thousands of years ago.
The city of Caral, capital of one of the world's oldest civilizations.
The city shows that the people of ancient Peru were skilled in planning, building, and living together in organized communities. They constructed large stone buildings, pyramids, and plazas, which were used for religious, social, and possibly administrative purposes. These structures show a level of sophistication that many had not expected from such an early period in history. The city was home to many people who lived, worked, and worshipped in a carefully arranged environment. Archaeologists have found signs of farming and trade, which suggest that Caral's inhabitants were not only builders, but also farmers, musicians, and traders. Musical instruments, like flutes made from bones, show that culture and art were important parts of their lives. Caral's discovery is important because it changes the way we understand the history of the Americas. It proves that thousands of years ago, humans were already forming cities, creating complex societies, and expressing themselves through culture and architecture. The city is not just an archaeological site, it is a window into a world that existed long before the Inca Empire and even before many civilizations in other parts of the Americas. Number 9. Lord of Sipan Tomb. In 1987, a team of archaeologists made one of the most exciting discoveries in Peru's history. They uncovered the tomb of a powerful Moche ruler, now known as the Lord of Sipan. This find amazed the world because it was incredibly rich and well-preserved, giving a rare glimpse into the life and culture of the Moche people, who lived on the northern coast of Peru more than 1,000 years ago. The burial chamber of the Lord of Sipan was filled with an incredible amount of treasure. Gold, silver, and precious jewels covered almost every surface. The tomb also held many ceremonial objects, such as decorated headdresses, necklaces, and ornaments, all carefully arranged around the body.
A miniature face in gold appeared and seemed to stare me right in the eye.
These items were not only beautiful, but also showed the ruler's high status and the Moche people's advanced skills in metalwork and craftsmanship. Because of the richness of the tomb, many people called the Lord of Sipan the Tutankhamun of the Americas, comparing him to the famous Egyptian pharaoh whose tomb was discovered decades earlier. Like Tutankhamun, the Lord of Sipan's tomb offered a unique look into an ancient civilization that was once very powerful and sophisticated. The discovery of the tomb also helped researchers learn more about Moche society. It showed that their rulers were buried with great honor and surrounded by items meant to help them in the afterlife. Archaeologists found evidence of human and animal sacrifices, which were part of the Moche religious practices. The careful arrangement of the burial items suggested that these rituals were very important to the people at the time. The Lord of Sipan's tomb remains one of the most important archaeological finds in South America. It revealed the wealth, artistry, and religious beliefs of the Moche civilization. Though the site was interesting, another equally astonishing find lies ahead. Number 8. The Ice Maiden Juanita. In 1995, archaeologists made an amazing discovery high on Mount Ampato in Peru. They found the frozen body of a teenage girl, later called the Ice Maiden or Juanita.
Contained within this crate is the body of the Ice Maiden, one of the most important archaeological discoveries.
She had been preserved perfectly by the cold ice for more than 500 years. Her discovery gave the world a rare glimpse into the life and beliefs of the Inca people. Juanita was not just any girl. She was a sacrifice, offered to the gods in a ritual meant to bring favor and protection to her people. The Inca believed that the mountains were sacred and powerful, and they often gave offerings, sometimes even human sacrifices, to honor these gods. Juanita's death was part of this important religious tradition. The girl was carefully prepared before her journey to the top of the mountain. She was likely dressed in fine clothing, and her body was treated in a way that would please the gods. Once she reached the high and cold slopes of Mount Ampato, she was left there, and the freezing temperatures kept her body almost perfectly intact for centuries. When scientists studied Juanita, they learned a lot about Inca rituals and daily life. Her body showed signs of the careful preparations she received, and the items found with her, like small tools and pieces of cloth, helped experts understand the culture and spiritual practices of the Inca. The discovery also revealed how skilled the Inca were in performing these ceremonies, as well as the importance of mountains and natural forces in their beliefs. Number 7. Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo is a remarkable archaeological site in Peru, located in the Sacred Valley near the Urubamba River. It was built by the Inca civilization over 500 years ago and served as a fortress, town, and religious center. The site is famous for its large terraces, impressive stone walls, and carefully planned streets, showing the skill of the Inca builders.
Cut and articulated what seems to be high-tech engineering.
The discovery of Ollantaytambo by modern archaeologists and travelers helped the world understand more about the Inca Empire. Unlike Machu Picchu, which was hidden and forgotten until the early 20th century, Ollantaytambo remained known to local people, who preserved its history through stories and traditions. However, its full importance was not recognized by outsiders until researchers studied it more closely in the 20th century. Archaeologists were amazed by the site's engineering. The massive stones used to build the walls were cut and placed with incredible precision, some weighing more than 50 tons. The terraces were not just for farming, they also helped prevent landslides and controlled water flow. Scholars also discovered that the town was carefully designed for defense. Its narrow streets, steep stairways, and strong fortress walls made it difficult for enemies to attack. Ollantaytambo also had spiritual importance. The Incas built temples and ceremonial areas here.
So this is where the Incas would store their grains,
using carefully carved stones that aligned with astronomical events. It was a place where rulers and priests could perform rituals, and it played a role in the Incas' resistance against Spanish conquest. In fact, Ollantaytambo was one of the few places where the Incas successfully defended themselves during the early Spanish invasion. Today, Ollantaytambo is both a tourist attraction and an archaeological treasure. The discovery and study of the site have taught historians about Inca architecture, farming, religion, and military strategy. Number 6. Quillabamba. Quillabamba was built by the Incas in 1539 and became their last safe place after the Spanish arrived in South America. It served as a refuge for the Inca rulers and their people until it finally fell to the Spanish conquistadors in 1572. Getting to Quillabamba is not easy. The journey is long and challenging, which is probably why it has never been a popular tourist spot. Even the Spanish must have struggled to find it back then. People of royal Inca blood, both men and women, traveled to Quillabamba to live in peace and safety. It was a hidden sanctuary, far from the dangers of the invading armies. Over the centuries, the city was almost forgotten. It wasn't until 1892 that Quillabamba was rediscovered in modern times. Later, in the 1960s, explorers returned to study the site more closely. Their work helped bring Quillabamba into the spotlight, leading to books and articles about the so-called lost and last city of the Incas. One of the most remarkable features of Quillabamba is its stonework. The stones are cut with amazing skill and precision, just like the famous walls of Machu Picchu. Archaeologists have found that the Incas used bronze chisels to shape these massive stones, carefully fitting them together without mortar. The level of craftsmanship shows just how advanced the Incas were as builders and engineers. Quillabamba may not have the fame of Machu Picchu, but it holds an important place in Inca history. It was the final stronghold of a great empire, a quiet city where royalty sought safety, and a hidden treasure that modern explorers had to uncover. The city's rediscovery allowed historians to learn more about the Incas' final days and their remarkable architectural skills. As chilling as discovery is, our next discovery is more amazing. Number 5. Huaca Pucallana. Huaca Pucallana is an impressive pyramid located near Lima, Peru. It is one of the best preserved structures from the time of the Incas and has been the site of many amazing discoveries. The pyramid was built a long time ago,
and complex societies dating back thousands of years that built pyramids, temples, and large-scale housing
around the 6th century AD and was originally used by a group of people called the Halas. Its main purpose was as a place of worship, where local tribes could perform religious ceremonies and honor their gods. The pyramid was carefully made from adobe bricks, which are sun-dried clay blocks, and at one time, the entire structure was painted bright yellow. Its design was quite clever, allowing people to move between different levels of the pyramid easily. Over time, the function of Huaca Pucallana changed. It eventually became a cemetery, and archaeologists discovered mummies buried within its walls. These findings gave important clues about the burial practices and beliefs of the ancient people who lived there. In addition to the mummies, researchers also found many ceramic vessels around the site. These pottery pieces were used for cooking, storing food, and other daily activities. The ceramics and other artifacts help us understand what life was like for the people who built and used the pyramid. They show that the site was not only a religious center, but also a place where people carried out important aspects of everyday life. Today, Huaca Pucallana remains one of Peru's most significant archaeological sites. Visitors can explore the pyramid and learn about its history, construction, and the people who once lived there. The site is carefully preserved to protect its delicate structures and the valuable artifacts found within. Its discovery has helped historians and archaeologists uncover details about ancient civilizations in Peru, making it a key location for studying the region's past. Number 4. Sayhuite Stone. The Sayhuite archaeological site is a strange and mysterious place located east of the town of Abancay, about 3 hours away from the city of Cusco in Peru.
Sayhuite monolith. This beautiful Inca artifact is located in the Apurimac region.
It has long puzzled historians, archaeologists, and visitors because no one is entirely sure why it was built or by whom it was created. The site is famous for its carved stones, which are arranged in complex shapes and forms that resemble rivers, canals, ponds, and even terraces. Some experts believe it may have been a center for religious ceremonies focused on water, which was extremely important to the Incas for farming and daily life. According to local stories, the site was once tended by a priest who had an important role in looking after the sacred water systems. Legend says that when Spanish conquerors were approaching, this priest chose to leap from a cliff more than 1,200 feet high to avoid being captured, showing how seriously the Incas protected their sacred places and traditions. The stones at Sayhuite are made of andesite, a very hard type of rock. What makes the site even more astonishing is that the Incas did not have metal tools strong enough to carve such intricate designs. This has led to many questions and debates about how these shapes were created. Some people wonder if the Incas received help from an unknown earlier culture, or if their skill and techniques were more advanced than we often give them credit for. The purpose of Sayhuite remains a mystery. Some scholars think it could have been used as a model to study water flow or irrigation, while others suggest it may have been a symbolic representation of the natural world, showing how rivers, lakes, and farmland were connected. Number 3. Pre-Inca mummy. In 2015, archaeologists working near Lima, Peru, made a surprising discovery on a quiet hillside.
Pre-Inca mummies, of which 6 are children and 8 are adults. They have also confirmed that 2 of the adults are women.
They uncovered the tiny remains of a mummified baby, dating back to the time before the rise of the Inca civilization. The find was part of a government project that required experts to carefully explore the land before a new road could be built. What they uncovered added an incredible chapter to Peru's long and mysterious history. This was not the only mummy found in the area. In fact, over the last few years, thousands of mummies connected to the Inca and earlier cultures have been unearthed across Peru. On this hillside, researchers also came across the preserved bodies of many adults. Some were astonishingly well kept despite the passing of centuries. Their features still visible thanks to the careful methods of burial used long ago. Unlike the famous mummies of Egypt, these Andean mummies were wrapped in layers of textiles, which helped protect their bodies from the environment. Among the discoveries at this tomb site were not only human remains, but also ceremonial treasures. A striking silver mask, created by pre-Inca people, was unearthed. This mask likely had a spiritual or ritual purpose, connecting the living to their ancestors or the gods they worshipped. Cotton and wool bags were also found, carefully placed alongside the mummies. These bags may have carried food, tools, or offerings meant to accompany the dead into the afterlife. Number 2. The Capacnan. The Capacnan, also known as the Inca road system, stands as one of the most impressive achievements of the Inca Empire. Stretching for thousands of kilometers across South America, this vast network of roads connected mountains, valleys, deserts, and forests, linking different parts of the empire into a single organized system. Archaeologists have uncovered many sections of these roads, especially in Peru, where stone-paved highways and rope bridges remain in remarkable condition despite the passing of centuries. The road system was not just a means of travel, but the backbone of Inca administration and culture. Through it, armies marched swiftly across rugged terrains, messengers known as chasqui carried important messages, and traders moved goods that sustained the empire's economy. In many places, the roads climbed steep cliffs, crossed deep gorges with suspension bridges made of woven plant fibers, and passed through tunnels carved into solid rock. The precision with which these routes were built shows the extraordinary engineering skills of the Incas. One of the most striking features of Capacnan is its adaptability. The Incas designed the roads to endure different landscapes, from the snowy peaks of the Andes to the arid deserts of the coast. Stone paving provided stability, while stairways and retaining walls prevented landslides. Rope bridges, which had to be rebuilt regularly, demonstrated the Incas' practical use of local materials and communal labor. Beyond their practical use, these roads also carried cultural and spiritual importance. They linked sacred sites, temples, and ceremonial centers, allowing pilgrims to travel and connect with their gods. Even today, many local communities still use parts of the Inca road system, keeping alive traditions that go back hundreds of years. Now, moving forward, Machu Picchu is often considered the most fascinating site in Peru. This next discovery will show to the sister city of Machu Picchu.
To visit the Inca citadel of Machu Picchu, all visits were temporarily suspended amid a nationwide political crisis.
Let's dive in. Number 1. Choqquequirao. Choqquequirao, often referred to as the sister city of Machu Picchu, is one of the most fascinating yet less visited Inca sites in Peru. Unlike Machu Picchu, which attracts thousands of tourists every day, Choqquequirao remains hidden high in the Andes Mountains and can only be reached after a long and difficult hike. This isolation has kept it relatively quiet and preserved, making it feel like a true lost city of the Incas. The citadel sits on a mountaintop, surrounded by deep valleys and steep cliffs, giving it both protection and an incredible view of the landscape. The name Choqquequirao means cradle of gold in the Quechua language, and historians believe it was built during the reign of the great Inca emperor Pachacuti, the same ruler who expanded the Inca Empire and is also credited with Machu Picchu's construction.
Machu Picchu, of course, located in Peru, was named one of the new wonders of the world back in 2007.
Choqquequirao was rediscovered in the 18th century by explorers, but serious excavation and study only began in recent decades. Much of the city is still covered by thick forest, and archaeologists estimate that only about 30 to 40% of the site has been uncovered so far. This means there are still many secrets hidden beneath the earth and vegetation, waiting to be revealed. The site includes grand stone terraces built into the mountainside, ceremonial plazas, living quarters, and impressive stairways that connect different parts of the complex. Some terraces even display unique white stone designs shaped like llamas, showing the importance of this animal in Inca culture. Like Machu Picchu, Choqquequirao likely served as a political, ceremonial, and agricultural center. What makes Choqquequirao especially remarkable is that it may have been one of the last strongholds of the Incas after the Spanish conquest. Some historians believe that Inca leaders and their followers retreated here when the Spanish invaded, using its remote location as protection. So, which of these breathtaking discoveries in Peru did you find the most interesting? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.